Well, I guess it's finally time to talk about something relevant that's not politics. So Nintendo just announced their new console, the Nintendo NX, which is also known as the Nintendo Switch, and it looks to be somewhat of a portable and home console hybrid, and everybody's getting really excited for it. And I can see why. This is a really ambitious project that Nintendo has done, and I'm really happy that they've decided to step out and start innovating again. But what a lot of people didn't know also is that a company decided to make a portable handheld Steam machine called the Smach Zero. And I've been looking forward to this thing for about a year now, so I'm really excited for it. So I'm going to list off the pros and cons of both so that you can know which one you want to get when they both come out. So first, I'm going to talk about the NX or the Switch just because that's probably why you're here. So obviously the biggest pro is that it's both a home and a portable console. You insert it into a dock if you wanted to play it at home, and you can take it on the go like a tablet by taking it out of the dock, and then you could play it with a controller from the sides, or you can take them off and then use them as controllers. It's a really neat concept. I haven't really seen it at all besides maybe like the Apple TV, so it seems like a really cool idea. Second pro, this thing was made for multiplayer. Just the way that you can take it anywhere and then give the other person one of the controllers to play with you is just an ingenious idea. Guaranteed they won't be able to play all games. I feel like the games that they'll only be able to play are games like Mario Kart or Super Smash Bros. Or any of the Mario games. But this has a lot of potential since you'll be able to have multiplayer anywhere in the world. Third pro, it finally has third-party support. Many companies announced that they were going to make games for this console as soon as it was announced, and everybody just got really excited. So that's awesome. We're not just going to have games from Nintendo, we're going to have so many different kinds of games from many different developers, and it's just going to be awesome. And the last pro that I listed was that it had NVIDIA graphics. They announced that the Switch had NVIDIA graphics, and they're pretty proud of it. They say, NVIDIA gaming is integrated into all aspects of the new Nintendo Switch home gaming system, which promises to deliver a great experience to gamers. So that's great because I love NVIDIA, I love their stuff, and I think that they're obviously the best graphics company out there. And now for the cons of the Switch. Since not a lot of information has been released about the Switch, I'm just going to assume a lot of things, so if all of this information gets debunked later, just disregard everything that I say. The first con, it's a little bit debatable how it'll perform in tablet mode. From the video, it seemed when they took it out of the home dock, it dropped in performance because not all of the performance seems like it's going into the tablet. It seems like the dock not only plays a role as a battery charger, but it also plays a role as an external graphics card. So if you want to play it portably, there's probably a chance that there's going to be a downgrade in quality. The next con, the battery life seems a little bit suspicious. The Wii U gamepad's battery life wasn't phenomenal by any rate, and since this console has such a strong emphasis on portability, it needs to have an amazing battery. NVIDIA's graphics cards are very famous for being energy efficient, so I think that's going to do well, but I just don't know. And lastly, it's not backwards compatible. Physically at least. You won't be able to put your Wii U discs or GameCube discs or any other previous console beforehand into the Switch. So that's a little bit of a letdown if you have all of these games that you still want to put into the Switch. Alright, so now it's time to talk about the Smach Zero, or the portable PC. So first, the pros. First pro, it runs Steam, and it plays Steam games. I think the best pro for this is that as soon as you get it, you can already download so many games because you already have a lot of games in your Steam library. Like I can imagine just right off the bat, as soon as you play it, you can just, open up Skyrim or something like that and it can run fine. The second pro is that it has custom controls. You can take apart the controller itself and then input new things into it so that you can have a custom controller set, and it looks really well implemented. Third, it's the best performing handheld device to date that we know of. The reason why I say that is because we don't know how well the Switch performs. As you can see from this graph, the Smach Z almost doubles the performance of the Wii U, which is really good, especially for a handheld device. So I'm hoping that they take advantage of this a lot so that you'll be able to play games really well. Fourth pro is that it has multiplayer capabilities. It'll have an HDMI port so that you can plug it into devices, and then what you can do is you can connect up to 16 Steam controllers to the device so that you can play with your friends locally. Although it's not as multiplayer friendly as the NX, it still has multiplayer capabilities and I'm still excited about it. The fifth pro is that it has emulators. The company announced on their Kickstarter page, Smach Z will be the best handheld device for emulation, and retro Z-pads will bring your fingers to the past. NES, Super Nintendo, Mega Drive, PlayStation 1 and 2, Nintendo 64, GameCube, or even Wii games will be in your hands. So obviously That's amazing. I don't have to explain that. The sixth pro is that it's really open-ended. Although it comes with the Steam OS installed on the Smach Zero, you can install other operating systems like Windows 10 or the Mac OS onto it if you want to. They tried to make it as open-ended as possible so that it could have the most potential. So I'm happy that they decided to take that risk. And the last pro that I have is that it streams to your PC. So if you wanted to play on your PC from anywhere in your house, you could just stream it to your Smach Zero and it'll have the same performance as your PC, guaranteed that you have a really good internet connection. So that's pretty cool. You know, sometimes I want to play some games on the couch or in my bed and have the performance of my PC, so that'll be really convenient. Now, some of the cons. The first con that I have is that it doesn't run AAA games as well as I'd hoped. They put a list of games in their Kickstarter page and showed the performance of how they ran. So for instance, Skyrim runs at 720p, high settings, 25 frames per second, which isn't great, and Overwatch runs at 720p, medium settings, at 30 frames per second. So this is what Overwatch looks like at 720p with medium settings at 30 frames a second. If you're happy with playing Overwatch like that, then you should be fine. But for me, I want to have a constant 60 frames a second, so that's probably going to be a problem for me. So just giving you a heads up. The second con, it's not really a con for the Smach Zero, but just more for the Steam OS. Since it's the Steam OS, it won't be able to run all games. If you want to have all games on your Smach Zero, you're probably going to want to have Windows 10 on it, just so you can play all of them. But they said that thousands of games are going to be on the Smach Zero ready to play on the release date, so hopefully your game that you want to play will be on it. And the third and final con that I have of it is that it's expensive. So it says on their Kickstarter page, it's 299 euros for a Smach Zero on their Kickstarter page, and the regular retail price will be much higher. So if it's much higher than that, then it's probably going to be pretty expensive. So if you don't want to pay that much for it, then I don't blame you. So finally, the final question is, what should you get? For me, I think this is a hard question. It totally depends on how much you play video games, how much you like them, and just how much you want to be able to play video games on the go. For me, what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to wait for a better version of the Smach Zero to come out, like the version 2, so that I can perform at a better frame rate and better quality, so that I'll be able to play games to the best that I can. But if you want the Switch, that's also a good investment. Nintendo has had some quality consoles in the past, and you should definitely get it if you want it that bad. Alright guys, that concludes my video. Thanks for watching. If you want more videos like this, let me know in the comments below what you want, and until next time, I'll see you later.